In today's episode of Hobby Eats, we take some of our holiday leftovers, things like turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, dressing, and convert them into new dishes and new ways to make and enjoy all of that leftover food we have from our holiday dinners. Let's see how they're done and get going. Here we're going to make our holiday deli sandwich with moist maker. Now, of course, I bet you're wondering, what the heck is a moist maker? Well, some of the greatest things that have happened for food has been on television or in movies. There's been some really weird ones like the UHF Twinkie hot dog sandwich, just weird. But there have been some really great ones, like on 30 Rock, when they made the cheesy blast off. Well, another great example of this is from an episode of Friends, where on one of the episodes, Ross had his leftover sandwich stolen from his company refrigerator. And he talked about how it was such a great sandwich because his sister made what she referred to as the moist maker, where you take a piece of bread and let it soak in some gravy. That's exactly what we're going to do here with our holiday leftover deli sandwich. So the first thing we're going to do is take one of our slices of bread, and let's go ahead and just let that sit there. While that is sitting there, we're going to go ahead and take some of our sliced turkey, place that on our sandwich. There we go. Next, we're going to take a little bit of our stuffing, and then that's going to go right there on top. Then we're going to go ahead and flip our piece of bread. We want to make sure it is fully soaked because that goes on next. Right there. Then we're going to take the rest of our turkey. There we go. Just a little more stuffing. You could never have too much stuffing. And finally, a little bit of cranberry sauce right there on top like that. And top it off like so. Let that squeeze right down in there. And there we have it. Our holiday leftover deli sandwich with moist maker. Here we're going to make our holidays leftovers Shepherd's pie. You just need to make sure you have a container that you can bake in the oven. First up, on the bottom layer, we're going to put some of our leftover green bean casserole. My version of green bean casserole is especially good for this purpose because I put a good bit of cracker crumb and the fried onions directly into the green bean casserole itself. Up next, we want to make our turkey mixture. That is as simply as taking some of our leftover turkey, shredding it up, and adding in some of our leftover gravy. So let's just go ahead and do that. Here you can add as much as you like because it is going into this container and is going to be being baked into here. It can be as wet or dry as your tastes prefer. I think for me, I'm going to add just a little bit more. Again, since my green bean casserole is a little more on the dry side because it has that extra cracker and fried onions mixed within it, some of this gravy will soak into there and it'll be a beautiful thing. So now we want to take our turkey and put a layer of that right there on top of our green bean casserole. And then finally, it wouldn't be a shepherd's pie without a topping of mashed potatoes. The only thing you might need to do with your mashed potatoes that you made for your dinner is to add a little extra of your cream, your milk of choice, your liquid of choice, because you do want it a little thinner than what you probably put on the table, which will help you put it on here and spread it out on top of your turkey. So let's go ahead and take that. There we go. Now we just want to throw that in a 350-degree oven until it is golden brown and delicious. We'll be back. And there we have our holiday leftovers shepherd's pie, fresh from the oven, golden brown and delicious, still bubbling a little bit on the edges. Absolutely fantastic side dish or meal made with a bunch of your leftover sides, and a great way to use up some of that leftover turkey. Here we are going to make our holiday pull-aparts. This is a great way to use up a lot of these leftover rolls that you will probably have along with some of your additional turkey. First thing we're going to want to do is take a grouping of your rolls and slice them so they are more bun-like. There we go. Taking the top off. First thing we're going to do is load up some turkey on here. Let's see. Bunch of that. Next, we're going to want to put a slice of provolone on top of each sandwich, going ahead and letting it kind of droop over just a hair. Then we're going to take our top buns, place them back on. Now we can take this entire thing and place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet. And then finally, we're going to want to make a nice topping for this. So for here, we're going to take some butter, a little bit of ground or minced garlic, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and finally some oregano. Mix that all together. And then we're going to place this mixture on top of the buns. Some of that's going to get down into those grooves, get on in there. It's going to make this absolutely delicious. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and throw this in a 450-degree oven until it is golden brown and delicious. And there we have our holiday pull-aparts fresh out of the oven. Let's go ahead and cut these down. That will help ensure that if there are any pieces of turkey that went between the layers, went between the sandwiches, they won't get stuck. And there you have it. The Thanksgiving turkey pull apart. Absolutely delicious. Here we're going to make some leftover holiday hand pies. We're actually going to make two different versions of these. One being a sweet version and one being a savory one. Here for our dough, we are just using some store-bought pie dough, but you can use whatever kind of dough you like best. You can go with some croissant dough. You can go with biscuit dough, whatever it is. But these, I'm making these as kind of hand pies. So that is why I picked the pie dough. First up, we are going to make the sweet version, which is using our leftover sweet potato casserole. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, why do I need to make this when I've probably already had pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, something like that? Well, for one, we are using up our leftovers. Secondly, most sweet potato casseroles, like the one that I have made and put some in here and stirred up, have the best part, and that is the topping. Usually some kind of maybe granola, a whole bunch of nuts, some coconut, maybe some marshmallows. All of that is excellent good stuff. It has now been mixed into here. So our sweet potato hand pie is not only going to have the sweet potato filling, but it is also going to have all of that wonderful topping mixed in. The only thing you might need to do is mix in a little extra flour depending on the consistency of your sweet potato casserole. So first up, we will take our pie dough, then take some of our sweet potato casserole filling. We want to put that right there. We want to make sure we have a good bit of room around the edges to seal. Here we go. Mainly working on 1/2 because we will be folding this dough over. So here we go. Just like so. And see, I've already got a little squish out. That is okay. We can fix that just like so. Mix that over, get those down. I always want to put in too much. That is okay. There we go. Put that over. Let's clean up a little here. Got a little bit of that awesome nut. Just wanted to punch out. Gonna go ahead and take our fork. Make sure we have a good crimp all the way around. And then to make sure it doesn't blow up, put a couple little holes. That is our first. We are going to go ahead and set this guy up on a parchment paper lined sheet pan and be back to do the savory version. Next, we are going to make our savory hand pie. This one's going to be made a little different. We are actually going to use the full sheet of dough and place another one on top to make a full one. We are basically making a turkey pot pie. So here we go. Let's move that. First thing we want to do is we want to take some of our shredded up turkey. This is a great use for those little bits of turkey that are around the carcass. For the ones as you're cutting the bird, they kind of, get misplaced or just, broken up or whatever. This is a great use for some of those. If you need a little extra, of course, just take some of the turkey that you have and just shred it up a bit. Next, we take some mixed vegetables that I know we all have. It is a fairly high staple for any kind of Thanksgiving. If you don't have some, you can very easily substitute some store-bought frozen in the bag. That would be absolutely fine. Finally, we want to take some of our gravy and pour that in there and mix that up just enough to have a loose gravy in here. There we go. That is now a majority of our filling. Let's give a little more. There we go. All right. Let's assemble this bad boy together. So here we'll take our pie dough. Place that right there. Bottom layer. Gonna take a little bit of our leftover mashed potatoes. We're gonna stick that right there. Place that in there. Kind of creating a little bit of a divot to help you work that turkey mixture in there. There we go. Next, we want to take some of our turkey filling. Just stick that right there on top. All right, let's clean up our mess of hair. And then finally, we are going to take our top piece. Now, this one I did roll a little bit to try to make it a little larger than the bottom. It'll help us seal this up a bit. Here we go. And you want to work your way around it. Try to get as much of the air out as you can. Like our ones before, we're going to go ahead and crimp around the edges to help seal this up. There we go. And in fact, I will go ahead and give this a little fold since there's a little bit of extra dough right there. Seal that all around. And there we go. Just like before, give a little air vent holes and place this on our parchment paper lined sheet pan. Now that we got our hand pies made, all we have to do is bake them in the oven. All you have to do is look at the dough that you have chosen and bake it to its recommended recipe. For this, it is a 450-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you back when these come out. And here we have our holiday leftover hand pies, fresh out of the oven. We have our turkey pot pie and our sweet potato casserole hand pies. Absolutely delicious. Remember, one of the things that make these better than the just like say a traditional piece of pie is your options with this. Again, you have the toppings from that sweet potato casserole, but you can also, instead of adding these vent holes, leave it completely sealed and deep fry these so they're more like empanadas. Absolutely delicious and another great way to go with these. Here we're going to make the holiday fast food sandwich. We're going to make it two different styles, the cheeseburger and the chicken. It really doesn't matter what version of a cheeseburger or a chicken sandwich you get. They both work fabulously. Here I have even taken it to that next level, and these sandwiches were purchased yesterday, so even the sandwiches are left over. All you have to do is throw your cheeseburger in the microwave for a little bit just to warm it up, to get it to the temperature that you are ready for. Your chicken sandwich, the key here is to throw it in the microwave just for a few seconds to let everything start to separate, to warm up a little bit, and then throw the chicken patty alone right on the grate in your oven, 450, for just a few minutes to fully warm it up and get it crispy. All right, so what we want to do is we want to take our cheeseburger and our chicken sandwich, and we will start with the chicken because it has the extra ingredient of a little bit of your cranberry sauce. So we're going to take a little bit of that, place that right there on the chicken. Let's go ahead and get our bun off. Both of these I got plain, so it was just meat and cheese and, no lettuce, no mayo here, because again, I don't want any of that extra stuff. I want it to just be our holiday fixings. So next we're going to take some of our stuffing, stick that right on top of our burger like so, and get a little mound of that. Come here. And place that right on top. There we go. Now let's clean up a little. And then finally, add our main sauce for these sandwiches, which is a little bit of your leftover gravy. And there you have it, the holiday fast food leftover sandwiches. Well, that is a few of my favorite holiday leftover dishes. I absolutely love these. The deli sandwich with moist maker, the hand pies, both sweet and savory, with your sweet potato casserole version and your turkey pot pie, your fast food leftover burgers, both cheeseburger and chicken variety, our pull-aparts with some provolone cheese, some of that leftover turkey, and a generous portion of that garlic butter sauce up on top before it gets baked. And finally, our holiday shepherd's pie. All of these great uses for all of those leftover holiday food items that you have after those different meals that you will cook either on, say, Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holidays that you have going on in your life. Great uses for a lot of those. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.